Hi, how are you all doing today? Thank you for coming back. This is session 5 to go along with Bible study, The Purpose, and this is the very low production of the video sessions that we are going along with. So it is a good time, it's about halfway through, to examine the purpose of studying the purpose. So the big question is it really about trying to prove that the world sees us Christians in a certain light? I think we all agree, hopefully, that statistically the world sees us in a certain light. So that is not the purpose of the study. So what is the purpose? The purpose is to self-reflect on what we are doing, maybe to create that perception. And if it is a self-examination, if you're not starting to feel a little bit like, Rada, I don't like what you're saying, man. That is actually a good sign. Hopefully you're starting to have that feeling, because if we're going to improve, we have to have a place that we need to jump off of. If we're good where we're at, then no improvement needed, and we just keep going on. So to give you an example is Josh comes to Rada and tells Rada, you are a hypocrite, you are haughty, you come across like offending people all the time. And I go like, no, not me. I am following the Bible. I don't know why they think that way. It's their problem. And it's also those bad Christians that give Christianity a bad name, not me. I'm a good Christian. So Josh says, well, although you are a good Christian, you are actually contributing to the picture that the world sees. And I'm like, me? Why would I even be acting as an arrogant and self-righteous person? Like, why would I even be doing that? So in what we studied, there are two things. Well, we studied one, we're going to study the other today, that can cause anyone to come across as haughty or I'm better, hypocrite or arrogant. And these are, I believe, that I do something better than you. I excel at it. So it gives me a little bit of I'm better than you. And the one thing that we discussed is sin, how we view sin in our life, and how the tradition of categorizing and classifying sin, making some sins very big and some sins almost so small that we shove them under the carpet, it is that practice that has given me the feeling as a Christian, I'm successful in keeping sin at bay. So others, non-Christians, sin is nothing in their life. They don't even think about it. They just keep doing it. So along with the tradition of keeping sin at bay, the second thing that can create any person to feel like an air of arrogance or self-righteousness is, I have something that you don't. And that is a great thing to have that you don't. Although we want to share it, we just kind of like, this is mine. So what is that thing that we hold on to that may give us a haughty air? It is actually salvation. Nothing, let me be very clear. This is not to question salvation. Once saved, always saved. We are saved. The end result of that we all know. But so it's not questioning it, it's like, how do we use it? Can it give us that air of haughtiness to have salvation? So we'll ask the question, what is salvation? So salvation is the deliverance and redemption from sin, death, and the separation from God. Hopefully we're all in agreement with that. We've been given the greatest gift through the death and the resurrection of Jesus. Agreed upon? Agreed upon. The wage, hopefully, the wages of sin are death. We are sinful, we're gonna die. Jesus' resurrection affords for us to go to eternal life after death. Therefore, we resurrect along with Jesus. It's a beautiful thing, right? It is just like the most beautiful thing in Christianity. So let's try to understand it better. So someone that is not a Christian comes to you and says, why should I be saved? Well, one of the gentler way of saying an answer that, again, I hope you are 100% on board with, I want to see you in heaven with me. I mean, it's beautiful, meaning I'm going to go to heaven because I am saved. If you are not saved, you are not going to be in heaven, but I want you to be there with me. It's very true. There's nothing wrong about it. But is that the only thing that salvation does? Hopefully not. It is a lot more. It's the greatest thing it does, but it's not hopefully the only thing that it does. So if the person says, well, what else would it do for me? Well, we say when you become a Christian, there is a transformation in your life, right? And you will feel the need to sin less, be less sinful in your life. And that is a very fulfilling feeling that you are following God in sinning less. Hopefully there's no disagreement there. But I hope you notice that I'm circling back to where we were. We're concentrating on the frequency and the type of sin as a result of salvation. And hopefully by now that you see that this is a tradition, this is not biblical. Biggest and smallest sin in God's eyes are the same. So that circle that we feel like this is what we're doing is not God's intention, at least from my view. It's not biblical. So what is it about? What is salvation about? Well, it is about what we said, but it's like we don't put it in the right perspective. We don't use it properly, again, in my opinion. So let me give you an example. I'm tired, I've worked hard, I'm sweaty, I'm gritty, I feel dirty. Sin makes us feel dirty, right? And I'm going home and hopefully I jump into this shower. I'm like, hopefully it's a nice hot shower on a cold day or a cold shower on a very hot day. And it's like, washes everything away. It's like, it is so wonderful. It feels fantastic. That's salvation, right? But here's the tradition that we kind of concentrate on. You hear questions like, when were you saved? Oh, I was saved on the date, blah, 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 when I was, and this happened. Wonderful. When were you born again? Born again. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's happened once when you were born, and it happens again when you are saved. Do you get born again and again and again? No, right? So we concentrate on this one-time event in our lives called salvation, and then it's the gift that we take and tuck into a drawer. I have it. End of story, right? No. Salvation reaps its benefit, could reap its benefit daily. Not that you are saved and saved and saved and saved again, because we hate that picture of, well, if I'm getting saved and saved and saved, what if I fall off? What if I lose it? You don't lose it, right? We have agreed on that. You do not lose it. But you're using it like gift. The salvation is the best gift ever. Why tuck it into a drawer until I die and then use it? That's not the only benefit it has. I need to keep reaping that benefit from salvation. And actually, we have a great word in it in Christianity. It's called grace. I know that God washes my sin away through grace, right? But if I am not feeling God's grace, I know God's grace. I can explain God's grace. I can point that my sin is washed away by God's grace. But do I experience God's grace daily? Well, why should I, Rana? Well, hopefully we agree that we sin daily. Those little tiny sins, not to make us feel bad about them, but to actually cash them in, use them. That, like Paul said, that does not mean go sinning like crazy, so you can keep cashing it in. But I'm already, as a human, filled with things that I do daily that God considers sin. So instead of beating myself on the head with them, I can cash them in and feel God's grace that's cleansing me over and over again. This shower feels so good. Why not take it often if I am sinning, right? Sin is dirty. I need to wash it away. That's what God does, right? So why not benefit from feeling God's grace daily? So for an example, somebody gives you this shirt that you've wanted forever. Like, I love this shirt. I don't want it speckled. I don't want it wrinkled. I don't want it messed with. So I'm going to hang it. Every time I walk by, I'm going to look at it and I go, what a beautiful shirt. Look, I have this excellent shirt. But what's the shirt made for? It's made for you to wear it, to enjoy it. But what if it gets speckled and wrinkled? Hopefully that view is tradition. Salvation never gets wrinkled, never gets speckled, because it's God's grace. But if I don't experience it daily, then I just know grace. I don't live and feel grace. If sin is in my life daily, God's grace wipes off the sin, and therefore I'm saved. If my tradition makes saved a one-time event that I look back at, not live, then I'm not experiencing God's grace, although I'm sinning daily. It happened in the past. So the trick, or not the trick, the goal, the intent is to how to use and feel God's grace daily, not by sinning more. We have enough sin in our life, but we need to use it to experience God's grace, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next session. Thank you for being with us, and till next time.